This is super interesting. MAGA got really excited because of a photo that was circulating around of Biden wearing a Trump hat. And then if you go watch the source video where that photo came from, you see something that actually again shows us the contrast in character between President Biden and Trump. And so let's walk through this. And I'll show you the video. Trump War Room said, "Thanks for the support, Joe." And it's Biden loosely putting on a Trump hat. This was as a part of his commemoration of 9/11. He traveled to a firehouse. But if you look at this video, this actually isn't a video Trump probably wants people to watch, because it shows Biden a much more unifying figure coming up to someone who's at this firehouse event wearing a Trump hat. Can't disagree more with the sitting president, who very much doesn't like Trump. But Biden, in a very human, empathetic way, engages with this Trump supporter and ends up sort of seemingly getting the Trump supporter to like him more.
Trump hat, I'll give you my presidential hat. Presidential seal on it.
You want to autograph it?
Oh, sure, I'll autograph it.
Huh?
Yeah.
You remember your name?
I don't remember my name. I'm slow.
You're old part. You're an old part.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm an old guy.
You're an old part.
I know you would know about that.
What?
About being old.
Oh, I know.
All right.
I'm a young timer.
It reminds me of the guys I grew up with. There was always one in the neighborhood.
Well, I'm the only one.
There you go, man. I need that hat.
You want my autograph?
Hell no.
You know my name. Come on.
I ain't going that far.
Yeah, you said you would do a selfie. There you go.
Just remember, no eating dogs and cats.
Hey, they're good.
Thank you.
They're good. Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I hope you like the pizza.
Huh?
You guys picked the best to get. I don't know where it's
So he trades. It's just so often with these MAGA trends that are meant to say, look, I guess what they were trying to say is Biden looked confused or something. You end up actually watching the video, and it's a moment between someone who doesn't like Biden and Trump. If he saw someone with a Biden hat on, or in this case now more relevantly Harris hat, would not have that sort of friendly interaction. And then he ends up, and I'll describe for our podcast listeners, giving the supporter a presidential seal hat, and he signed it, gave it to the supporter, trading with the Trump hat, and then for the sort of comedy of it, or it was described by BBC as a unifying gesture, put on the Trump hat. And I saw some MAGA people, I think Ben Shapiro is one person who made this point ridiculously, saying, see, all the stuff Biden says about Trump being a threat to our republic and not respecting basic democratic norms, that's all a lie, because he was willing to put a Trump hat on. He was willing to be friendly to this Trump supporter. No. It seems very easy to understand that one can acknowledge the danger of a movement, the danger of an ideology, the danger of a leader, without dehumanizing those who give power to such a movement, the members of it. We can point to the threat Trump poses, and thus the followers supporting him, how they're participating in it, to our democracy, without ceasing to see other people as humans and being able to relate with them in an empathetic way and be kind to them in interpersonal interactions. The leaders, you have less of an obligation to be nice to. The followers, so many of them are wildly misled but are trying to do their best. And we are gonna give up a lot of progress in this country if we start genuinely thinking it's not allowed to treat people with what you perceive to be, what I perceive to be horrible political views, with respect and compassion. And that's what Biden did there. That's what he did. You can't picture that moment. Trump doesn't like people seeing that sort of human side of Biden and Harris. We've seen it too. Whenever he and his vice president, especially his vice presidential running mate, J.D. Vance, really struggle in those scenarios. And so I think this represents another difference between the two parties right now, both with their massive flaws, but one with so much more, and one that you actually can get good things done with. And that is, while we all have to acknowledge there's gonna be divisive stuff going on quote unquote either side, I've made the case in a bunch of past segments that MAGA is the much more divisive force right now. And this seems like a small little example of that, where this represents a movement that is more concerned with unifying than the other. Even if we're never going to unite with the horrible values of Trumpism, we can still welcome people into our movement sort of with compassion. Here's just a clip from debate night that I found funny.
Get this. No, get this.
So it's from inside of a bar, and people watching as Vice President Harris goes, "This former president?"
And the president at the time invited the Taliban to Camp David, a place of storied significance for us as Americans, a place where we honor the importance of American diplomacy, where we invite and receive respected world leaders. And this former president...
We were doing live coverage of this, and I had an absolute blast doing it with Josiah from Pondering Politics. It would be fun, though, to be in a bar watching that with a bunch of people. It depends on which bar, to be clear. But with a whole group of people live reacting, that would be quite the time. Let me know what you thought of that clip of Biden. Is it him showing support for Trump, or being too kind to someone who's terrible? Or is it him having a human, empathetic moment? You can let me know in the comments. Support the show by clicking the join button below. Or we're going to put a link somewhere in there for y'all who are saying you can't find the join button, and you can become a member there.